get into a bit of detail on this and you'll be able to understand. The 26 represents the previous 26 bars of the slower moving average. The 9 represents the previous 9 bars of the difference between the two moving averages. This is plotted by vertical lines called a histogram. The green lines in the chart above. The difference between the two charts above. In my example, the faster moving average is the moving average of the difference between the 12 and 26. So as you can see here, we have a MACD. This is a standard chart. And you can see on the bottom where the MACD and the histogram is. As you can see, the blue line is indicating downtrend, whilst the red line is indicating a downtrend as well. As soon as the blue line crosses over the red line, as we can see, it then becomes a long signal, which is a buy. And that is trading the trend. Obviously, we're going to look at other parameters to see how we're going to get into a trend. Okay, and so this is a crossover here. As you can see, we go up with the trend on the crossover, as I've highlighted in blue there for you. So you can clearly see that that the trend is facing upwards, and the histogram is set on 12, 6, and 9 as standard to a standard MACD. I'll begin to go through another technical indicator that will show you how to actually trade in another way as well. So the relative strength index is another actual indicator that we'll use. So does anyone have any questions in regards to a MACD that I can answer in the meantime? You can type along in the box here. So MACD questionnaire. No? No one's got any questions on MACD? Missed the first 2 minutes of you speaking. Okay, I'm getting that a lot from a lot of people. Okay. What I'll do is I'll quickly summarize. I'll go back to the start and I'll quickly summarize what's happened. Okay, so we can all see this now. Fantastic. Okay, yes, great. So I read the disclaimer. So this is a general advice disclaimer. So we all seen this. I'll leave it there for about a minute, 30 seconds, so people can see. Okay. I said, why listen to me? I said, I'm a member of many Forex societies. I've been trading markets over 11 years. I've traded with professional traders. I went through that. I've traded with Bank of America, Merrill Lynch. A lot of people have been trading the markets 3 to 5 years, which is a great time, but 11 years seems like I've done it all, and I still haven't done it all. That's an analogy I say. I've taken lessons of successful traders, and I've been able to piece through some good strategies, and that's why I'm here. Also, it's another reason that you guys have asked for this. I have a gift for teaching and tuition, and I love helping people and teaching them a way that I wasn't taught. So the indicators that are commonly most used are moving average convergence and divergence, which is MACD, relative strength index, RSI, and channels. So then I went through to talk about a bit of technical analysis. What is technical analysis? And I'll quickly summarize it up for you. Technical analysis is the theory is the person can look at a history of price movements determining the current trading conditions. It's have you ever heard of the saying history repeats itself? Well, that's basically what technical analysis is all about. If a price level held a key support or resistance in the past, traders will keep an eye out for it and base their trades around that historical price level. Technical analysts look for a similar pattern they've formed in the past and will look for trade ideas believing that that price will act in the same way. you can look at the past data to help you support trends and patterns, which could also help you find some great trading opportunities. What is more, with all the traders who rely on technical analysis out there, these price patterns indicate signals tend to become self-fulfilling. As more and more traders look for certain price levels and chart patterns, the more likely that these patterns will manifest themselves in the market. So a standard MACD, I'll go through it, is has standard averages of 12, 26 and 9. Now the 12 number usually represents the previous 12 bars, which is these green bars on the bottom on the MACD histogram. The green bars is actually called a histogram. The 26 represents the previous 26 bars of the slower moving average. The 9 represents the previous 9 bars of the difference between the two moving averages. So show me the crossover. That's the crossover here where I've highlighted it blue on the MACD crossover. You will see when the blue line is heading down towards with the red line, that is a downtrend. When it kicks over the blue line, kicks over the red, you know that that is an uptrend, and that's the start of a new trend. They say the trend is your friend, and that's what we try to go with. Now, there's a few other things that we need to know. The histogram simply plots the difference between the first and slow moving averages. If you look at an original chart, you can see that two moving averages separate, the histogram gets bigger. So as you can see, the histogram gets a bit larger. You also know that as the moving averages get closer to each other, the histogram gets smaller too. This is called convergence because the faster moving average is converging and getting closer to the slower moving average. And that, my friend, is how you get the name moving average convergence and divergence, MACD. We need to crack our knuckles after that one, that's for sure. Okay, so you know what MACD does. Now we'll show you what MACD can do for you. So because there are two moving averages with different speeds, the faster one will obviously be quicker to react to the price movement than the slower one. When a new trend occurs, the first line will react first and eventually cross the slower line. When this crossover occurs, the fast line starts to diverge or move away from the slower line. It often indicates there is a new trend has formed. This is because the difference between the lines at the same time of crossover is 0. Now 0 is in the middle. That's how we calculate 0. And when I say middle, it's right in the middle where the histogram is. The down of the histogram, green bars, and the up of the green bars, that is 0 level, right in the middle. Pretend you can draw a line right across there. Now in our this is a Euro USD 1 hour chart. In the chart that you're seeing, the first line crossed above the slow line while the histogram disappeared. Okay, as you can see, the histogram's disappeared. Where the blue highlighted is, there's actually no green dot there. Okay. So the histogram's disappeared, which is showing us an upward trend. Now, imagine if you went into this trade, you would have gained almost about 200 pips. Okay, there's one drawback to a MACD. Naturally, moving averages tend to lag behind price. After all, it's just an average of historical prices. Since the MACD represents moving average of other moving averages and is smoothed out by another moving average, you can imagine that there is quite a bit of lag. However, MACD is still one of the most favorite tools used by many traders and myself. So I do go by the saying, trend is your friend, and this is one of the reasons why I do it. There's another indicator I also like to utilize, which is called the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. Okay. So does anyone have any questions in regards to the MACD now that I've quickly summarized it? And I do apologize about that technical difficulty that's set us behind. Anyone got any questions in regards to MACD? You can type it in your box here. Okay, Stavro, do you use default settings on MACD? Yes, I do use default settings. I also put two moving averages on a chart sometimes, and I use 9 and 21 on a 5 to 15 minute chart. I put a two moving averages as like Bollinger Bands that act on top of the chart, and I set them at 9 and 21, and I wait for the crossover. I obviously don't trade. It's more of a scalping method, but obviously I won't trade that method during a sentiment news release. Before and after I would, but not during a sentiment news release. I won't. I'll strongly use fundamentals, which will be discussed in next online seminar webinar next Wednesday, which will be discussing fundamentals. Any other questions in regards to MACD? Okay, I'll move across to Relative Strength Index. Okay, so the Relative Strength Index, or RSI, identifies overbought and oversold conditions in the market. It is also a scale 0 to 100. Typically, reading below 30 indicates oversold, while readings over 70 indicates overbought. So that is this is 7. The red line is 70, indicating overbought. The blue line here is oversold, indicating 30. In the middle of that, 0. So this is what an RSI is showing us. You can also use RSI with the MACD as another indicator to help assist you. Now, RSIs can be used just like a MACD when we use it to pick potential tops and bottoms depending on whether the market is overbought or oversold. So here we go. This is a nice example. RSI is below this is a 4-hour chart that we're looking at. Okay, it doesn't mean I use an RSI on a 4-hour chart. It just gives me a clear example just to show you how it's worked. Okay. Now the Euro USD has been dropping for the last week, as you can see here. This nice massive drop just before I circled it green, and it's dropped about 400 pips, of course, in the last 2 weeks on a 4-hour chart. It was really trading below the 120 handle. A handle is a support, another word for a support. This chart's quite old, so these are not the this is not the current price of the euro. Obviously, I do have a bearish outlook on the euro. However, this is just showing you as an example how to use an RSI. Now the RSI dropped below 30, as we can see. It's saying it's oversold, signaling to us that there might be no more sellers left in the market. Okay, so that's what it's showing us, and that the move could be over. So the price then reverses and heads back up over the next couple of weeks. So that's, as you can see, it's bottomed out, starts to build a little step ladder. As you can see there, it's also formed a channel, which I'll discuss about channels shortly too. So determining the trend using an RSI is a very popular tool, okay, because it's also used to confirm downward trends as well. So if you think that trend is forming, take a quick look at the RSI and look whether it is above or below 50. If you're looking at a possible uptrend, then make sure that the RSI is above 50. If you're looking at a possible downtrend, then make sure the RSI is below 50. That's how I tend to pick the trends. In the beginning of the chart, we could see that the possible downtrend that was forming, to avoid fake outs, we can wait for an RSI to cross over below 50 to confirm our trend. Sure enough, as an RSI passes below 50, it's a good confirmation that a downtrend has actually formed. Now, I tend to call this the bus stop formation. Why I call it a bus stop formation is that the RSI, it's already going downtrend. We can also put pending orders on the downtrend, and we're just waiting for it to cross over. While it crosses over, we then know that it's confirmed that the downtrend is still occurring. So that is RSI, my friends. And does anyone have any questions in regards to RSI? What numbers sets to up? Okay, so when it hits 30, when it hits below 30, it tends to mean that the price has been the oversold. It's hit a trend. It's hit a bottom out. So that's when people tend to buy when it's really dropped hard. Over here you can see it has hit 30 on this chart, okay, and it's kind of picked up a little bit, okay, but then it kind of flattens out, and that's when it's building a resistance level. Configuration numbers I use for this is standard config numbers. I don't like playing around with the RSI. I think it's pretty, I think the people that invented the RSI has got it pretty spot on. Any other questions in regards to the RSI? Okay. What is the standard? The standard, that's a very good question. Now, I don't actually know what the standard numbers are, but I do know that it uses a crossover of between 0 to 100, 30 being oversold and overbought being 70. So they're the standard numbers I use. I use 50 as my zero line, which is in the middle. Okay, I'll move on to the next indicator, which is standard config is NOS. What do you actually mean by NOS? Not on show. Numbers. Standard configuration in numbers. Yeah, 30 and 70. 30 being oversold, 70 being overbought. That's a standard configuration on RSI. You can configure it with a lot of platforms such as MT4. You can double click on it and you can configure it, and you can play around with the numbers. But I usually use an RSI on a 15-minute chart. I know I pulled up a 4-hour chart there before. That was just to show you the downtrend and how an RSI works. Okay, so I'll get into channels and resistance. Alright, no, they're set up like 833. Okay, I'm not too sure on the RSI setup. As I said, I leave it on the standard, and I just look at the actual face of it, which is 30 and 70. I don't play around with those numbers. But now that you've said it, I am going to have a play around with it, and I'm going to understand how those numbers actually work. Any other questions in regard to RSI? 14, I think. Okay. Well, I'll study it, and I'll get back to everyone on an email, and we'll have a look at what the actual numbers and how they get played around with. But I just utilize the face of the RSI as an indicator. I don't sit there and I don't amend the indicator. I do amend the MACD, and I gave you the numbers for that, which was 9 and 21 on a moving average, and I put it on the chart. I'm going to be talking about channels now. No, 15, Frank. We'll use 15. But I'll answer the questions back to RSI and MACD at the end of channels, because channels is the last topic, and then we can have open to discussion, and we'll be able to discuss anything, as I said, what food I like, if I like meat pies or if I like steaks. Okay, so I'll get back onto to channels. If we take this trend line theory one step further and draw a parallel line in the same angle of the uptrend or downtrend, we'll have created a channel. No, I'm not talking about the ESPN or ABC channel or the CNBC, I should say. Still, this doesn't mean that you should walk away like it's a commercial break either. Channels can be just as exciting to watch as America's Next Top Model, that's for sure. Now, channels are just another tool in technical analysis which can be used to determine good places to buy or sell. Both the tops and bottoms of channels represent potential areas of support and resistance. So there's an upward channel. To create an ascending channel, I would just call it upsailing, simply draw a parallel line at the same angle as an uptrend line, and then move that line to a position where it touches the most recent peak. This should be done at the same time you create the trend line. To create a downtrend or descending channel, simply draw a parallel line at the same angle as the downtrend line, and then move the line to a position where it touches the most relevant valley. A valley is like a dip. Okay. This should be done at the same time you create the trend line. Now, when prices hit the bottom trend line, this may be used as a buying area. When prices hit the upper trend line, this may be used as a selling area. I also try to use channels. If I see a breakout within the channel, as you can see this up channel, the first blue line, and then you see the red drop, I see that breakout. As soon as I see that breakout, I usually go in for a short position on that breakout. Okay, and then I draw another channel. So that's channel trading. I use support and resistance levels. Okay. Now with channels, there are three types of channels. Okay. There's ascending channel, which is the first one, up channel. There's descending channel, which is the second bit you're seeing in the middle of the screen there. It's a down channel. And there's a horizontal channel, which is called ragging or sideways channel. And that's the last channel you can see on the chart there. That's in black. Okay. Now, important things to remember when about trend lines is this. When constructing a channel, both trend lines must be parallel to each other. Okay, they can't be non-parallel. They have to be parallel. As you can see here, there's no ifs or buts. That's what a trend line is. Okay. Generally, the bottom of the channel is considered the buy zone, while the top of the channel is considered a sell zone. Okay, if you're going to sell and buy within the channel. Like drawing a trend line, do not ever force the price of the channels that you draw. Okay, you cannot create it. Don't force it. A channel boundary that is sloping at one angle while the corresponding channel boundary is sloping at another is not correct and could lead to a bad trade. Okay, so does anyone have any questions in regards to trend lines? Channels and resistance. No one's got any questions in regards to that? Okay, all good? Alright, now I want to show you guys something. I'm going to put something extra in here to help assist you guys with something that I helped prepared. And you're going to appreciate this. Okay, here we go. So I've pulled up a MT4 platform here that I'm using for FXTG. And as you can see, the red and yellow line on top of the chart, this is my my 9 and 21 that I create. So they're just moving averages that I put on the chart. And as you can see here, we'll zoom in, that I wait for the crossover. So this is indicate a short position for me. So if I use my crosshair, I would say I would have got in at 101.02 and I'd still be in this trade. And this is actually looking at the AUD USD. This is on a 1 minute chart. Technically I would probably trade on a 15-minute chart, 1 minute chart, unless I've got a really good super spread broker like FXTG who offer 1 pip fixed spread on AUD USD or Euro. Then yeah, as you can see here, it's about to be a long position. Now this is not a signal for you to go buy. This is my personal, what I'm showing you and what I would use, but it's not a let's go buy AUD USD now. I'm not providing any calls on this service. This is educational. As you can see here, there's been a crossover, so the red has crossed the yellow, indicating to us a short sell. And as you can see, my method, bang. Now if you want to be sure, get in on the next candle. That's what I try to do as a strategy. And I put my stop loss on the next resistance level, being about here. Why I say it's a resistance level, it looks like it's hit there before, it's spiked over here. So that's why I call it a resistance level. And how do I create this chart? It's simple. Okay, let's just use the standard layout on MT4. I'll delete all these indicators. I like using Dinapoli just for the red and the yellow. It just makes it really clear for me, and I like to be quite clear when I trade. So I've deleted all the indicators. I then go to moving averages over here. No, I don't have any experts on here. Okay, so moving averages. Okay, I'll grab a moving average. Okay, I'll put this one as 9. And then I'll get another moving average. And I'll put this one as 21. Okay, simple. We'll do it on the close. Okay. Now this is, we'll leave, I'll change the color. We'll leave that one, we'll make it like a color that can stand out. We'll make it a yellow. And I'll make it just a bit thicker. That way we can see it. And I'll make this one, how about a light blue. That should stand out, and I'll make it a bit thicker. There we go. So as you can see, the crossover occurred here, and this is what showed us a downtrend. And as you can see, looks like a long position is about to cross over here. I'll also be looking at volume bars, and I never get in the flat market on a flat volume. So just, for example, this is a flat volume here. As you can see, it's pretty level. I won't be getting into any flat volume levels. Okay. Can we have a look at the euro? Sure. I'll pull up the euro. Would you like? I'll save this as a template. I'll save this as a template as guys. And I'll pull up the euro. Let's have a look at the euro USD. Now this is just a demo account, so don't look at the spreads and things. Obviously, if you guys want to have an account with us, the account managers here can do a really good deal for you guys and provide excellent bonuses as well. Okay, so looking at the euro 15-minute chart, that's what we're seeing at the moment. It looks like a crossover is occurring on the euro very shortly too. We can also pull up an RSI, and we can see relative strength index. So RSI is indicating 30, meaning it's been oversold, which is this point here, and it looks like it's tending to go up again. If you look at a 1-minute chart on the euro, you will see that it's already crossed for a bottom, but 1-minute chart's not too accurate because you take into account into spread and your price, and you can kind of get burnt. I try to stick to the 15-minute chart. So this is a good way of looking at it. Does anyone else want to look at any other pairs or anything else in here involved? A MACD, I can pull up a MACD as well. So as you can see, the MACD here is turning up. Now the MACD was a crossover. I don't actually have it set on this MT4 platform, but you can get them as well, and they're free. Pound Swiss franc, sure. On a 15-minute chart, pound Swiss franc. Let's go to my my template. There we go. So that's pound Swiss franc, and we can see nice movement here. And we can see a bit of a sell-off occurring in the pound Swiss franc. Another pair that is good to look at is would be we've checked euro, pound USD. We can check pound USD, and there's my template. There we go. Look at these nice movements in it. As you can see here, this is where it can be very manipulative. This is why the volume here looks like it's good, and look at the pattern of it. I mean, I have just saw it now. Look at this pattern. It's very similar. So it's showing you that the same traders are trading this market, so which is kind of a good thing, meaning the trend's going to continue. And when you start seeing the same volume, you know that that the trend's reversing too. You can see here how it's very flat. It looks like it wants to boost off, and then it drops, boost off and drops, and it kind of does a channel. within itself. So you can see a channel there, just a small channel, occurs a breakout. Any other questions in regards to this? Anyone want to say anything else? Okay. I'll now like to go back to a few questions and answers, and 15 minutes is definitely the best. Yes. So questions and answers, my favourite part, where you can ask me anything and I'll give you my brilliant answers. I had a contact FXTG who helped sponsor this event. They're in Australia. They are level 1, 499 St Kilda Road. You can email them info@fxtg.com.au. The number's there as well. Anyone have any questions in regards to anything that they want to know? Why not longer than 15 minutes? Sure, Stinger. The longer the better. You just got to have more margin and more equity in your account and be mindful of the risk. Your position's going to be trending more, which also means while it trends more, you have to keep in mind your risk levels. And when you're in it for a longer move, your losses can be longer as well, can be quite larger, and your gains can be quite larger. You really need to have a decent size account balance and keep mindful of your risk. But the more longer it is, I wouldn't go more than 4 hours. When you go more than 4 hours, you're going into intraday trading. I like to stay to swing trading or day trading specifically. I don't like holding positions for 2-3 days. I've been forced to hold positions for 2-3 days, and I just don't like holding positions for more than 2-3 days. Does flat volume no volume? Does flat volume equal no volume, you mean? That's how I'm interpreting this question. Well, yes, that's correct. Okay, I'm saying yes because of your question. Yeah, flat volume is generally meaning that there is it's a low volume. There's no volume in the market. We want trend, and trend is your friend, and that's what we need. We need to make sure that there is volume in the market, and as long as there's volume in the market, we'll get a trend. If there's no volume, it's going to be flat. We don't want to be caught in a flat channel. Do you trade the Norwegian crown? Unfortunately, no, I don't trade the Norwegian or the SEK. I have before traded the SEK, but no, I don't currently trade them. I like to stick to the majors. I stick to AUD, USD, Euro USD, Pound USD. Sometimes I touch Pound Swiss franc, USD Swiss franc as well. Okay, thanks. All right, a bit off the topic. Do you use Dinapoli in your strategies, and will you present also something else about Dinapoli, or what do you use from Dinapoli 3x3? I don't use Dinapoli at all. What I showed you here was I removed all the Dinapoli indicators. I just like the red and the yellow part of the Dinapoli, okay, which is this here. I like the red and the yellow. So if you actually pull up a Dinapoli, which that is a Dinapoli, right? I delete that indicator. I delete that indicator. I don't even want to look at these. I just keep the chart, and then I go to moving average, and I add on my moving average, and I add on another moving average. I make sure the other one's 21, a different color. That's how I do it. How long do I wait? Okay, that's a great question. I usually wait for the next candle on a 15-minute chart. In saying that, I usually I wait. A next candle will be 15 minutes, obviously, because it's a 15-minute chart, and what you're seeing is a 15-minute movement. I think 7 minutes is a good time period to wait on that crossover method. As you can see on the pound Swiss franc, this is an excellent example here of a nice crossover, and that trend has just kept on going. I mean, you could have put a trailing stop loss on that, and you could have made some serious pips there. We can calculate the pips on that move there. Let's say we got in over here. We'll put worst case scenario, and I'm seeing 14433, and then we get into we get out. Let's say we get out on the worst case scenario about I got pulled up the wrong thing. About here we get out. Let's say 145. So we got 4519 less 4433. Would have made 86 pips in that trend, and that is from 14th November. So we've held for we've held nearly a day, but that's an excellent trend. Any other questions in regard to this method? Or anything else? This is open for discussion now. So last time we went into about the economy, about Europe, I think we discussed about why I moved to FXTG as a consultant, why there was a lot of questions, and I actually was surprised with some of them. Someone asked me, is Soros evil? That was a question that I had in my open to discussion. Anyone else have any other discussions? Do I still sit in front of my screen for 24 hours? Well, let's talk about my day. I sit in front of several screens 24 hours. No, I've got an Apple iPhone. I check price action on that. I go to my screen during sentiment news releases, or when I'm trend trading during certain hours, during market opens, such as the UK, US sessions, I'll be in front of my screen. And during Asian session, usually spend about 9 hours in front of my screen. I don't expect you guys to spend this much time, because obviously you guys are just traders and learning and trend trading and day trading. I do this for a living, and I do it constantly every day. So that's why I spend so many hours in front of the screen. I've also got several EAs that I've created that I don't distribute to anyone. That is what I've got and works specifically for me, and it works through my trading method, and I've created it to work like that. It's not anything that that I would ever sell to anyone or for whatever value. It's just my learnings that I've put into it, and it's taken me over 3 years to create it. Any other questions? I'm happy to answer anything. How much money do I have in my wallet? Did someone say that? I've got $5 at the moment. All right. Warren Buffett was at one point, according to Forbes' richest man in the world by trading stocks. Do you think we might see a Forex trader on the Forbes list? Of course there is. There's George Soros. He's a Forex trader. He also trades stocks though, but he made his $1 billion trading the pound. Now, Forex traders, there's many millionaires made from Forex traders. I'm not going to say that there isn't. I know heaps. But in this industry, there's one thing you have to learn, and the goal of this one thing is to be diligent, okay? Very diligent, and have strict, I can't stress out anymore, to have strict risk management rules. As long as you've got that, you can achieve success in your trading, and you've got to really have a good focus. Now, there's a lot of, you have to understand that on the BRW Rich List and the Forbes magazine, BRW is the Australian version, the people that are on these lists are people that are profiled wealth. Now, there's a lot of people that that I know that are quite wealthy, and they do it from currency trading, and they're not on these lists, but you know what? They've got a Ferrari, they've got a Lamborghini, they've got mansions. You know, they've got the things that we require. As traders, we say we require them. I don't know where we got this mentality. Oh, that's my goal anyway. So that's what they've they're not profile wealth though. They're not the people that they're going to be outspoken and people know. My goal as a trader, an advisor, and a consultant is just to be well known as someone that helps people, and someone that can be approachable as well. I do want to be eventually someone like a Soros, for instance. However, in a different way, that's for sure. What's a percent you should use for each trade? 1.5 to 2% open on each trade. That's what I try to stick to, because you're high leveraged as well. So that takes into account your leverage. And I wouldn't go over leverage more than 1 to 300. 1 to 300 is good leverage. Lot sizes is dependent on your percent. So you've got to calculate it as to your percentage. Anyone else got any questions in regards to anything in particular? Don't be shy. I mean, I can't see your face. Maybe I should put a webcam, you can see my face. Don't think that would help much. I don't think you guys really want to see my face. Any other questions in regards to any sort of trade? How much is not too much to take? What can you just get into depth a bit about that? What do you actually mean? How much is not too much to take? Do you mean like a profit? How much to take, or when? Yeah, profit, or do you mean a stop loss? Because if you're saying profit, I'll tell you profit. Okay, I'm going to tell you now, Frank, that I'm profit hungry. So yeah, I always try to take as much as I can. It's never enough in the market. But the sad thing is, I'm going to be honest with everyone here, you can never pick the top or you can never pick the bottom. I try to run with the buses run. Okay, what I mean by that, the bus stop strategy is simple. I usually put an order, just say over here somewhere. Okay, let me delete this line. I usually put an order over here somewhere, and when that trend occurs, I get in on a long and I keep going, and I would put a trailing on there, or a percentage. Look, to be honest with you, I think if you put a 15 pip take profit, you're not doing any harm. Not doing any harm, and put in your stop loss at the next resistance level. Looking at this chart, the next resistance level I can see is over here. So there'll be support 1. There'll be support 2 around here, support 2. Looking at these charts. Any other questions in regards? Did that answer your question, Frank? Is that what you wanted to hear? Or is there something else that you wanted to know? Because I'm answering the way that I interpreted your question. Okay. Any other questions? Anyone's got any other questions in regards to anything at all? I don't mind being here all day answering questions. That's fine with me. Someone typing anything? Just think out. What's the next week's presentation? Next week's presentation is going to be something that a lot of you guys will be interested in. Next week's presentation is going to be in regards to fundamentals. So I'm going to discuss fundamental trading. I haven't actually written it up or actually looked into it. What I'm actually going to show you guys, I wanted to make it as constructive as possible. Now, believe me, fundamentals is not boring at all. Fundamentals is very informative, and it's something that you need to know. I'll be talking about news, sentiment, strategies that you can use during fundamental trading as well. I'll write an address here, so for the non-US citizens, that it's for FXTG. If you're ever interested in opening an account with these guys, they offer a great deal with 1 pip spreads as well. They offer great bonuses as well, up to 30 to 50%. What is a news link you use? What do you mean by news link, Frank? Forex Factory. No, I subscribe to a separate company. I subscribe to a I can't remember what their name is. It's a program. I bought it. I bought it for about $200, and it gave me a life membership, and it tells me everything about the news. I'm just trying to think what it's called. I can't recall it. I know who makes it. It's made by WinCorp. The programs are made by WinCorp. If you probably Google WinCorp, and you can see it there. WinCorp, just write WinCorp News Trading, Google or something. News Trader Pro, yeah, you've got it, man. You've got it. That's what it is. News Trader Pro, made by WinCorp. That's who I actually use for news trading, and it gives me all the information I need. Is FXTG with cashback Forex? No, definitely not. They want it to be part of their IB. However, they choose their IB very carefully. There's only certain IBs that they use. You don't need to really get cash back because they give big bonuses anyway. They give up to, I got an account manager here. What do we give as bonus? Up to 50%? Up to 50% as a bonus. So as a cash bonus. So if you put $5,000, you get $7,500 as a bonus. Obviously, you got to trade certain lots to get your bonus, but that's good leverage in there that you can use. And they're a regulated firm, and they got 296 employees. So they got segregated accounts as well. So it's I trust them, and a lot of people do trust them, and I've got no reason not to trust them because they're regulated in an Australian firm. So yeah, and plus I've seen their faces. I mean, look, they're not the prettiest guys, but they could do with a bit of a touch-up. Nah, they're good guys, and there's a lot of employees here, and everyone has got a family to attend to at the end of the day as well. Anyone got a joke they can tell me? Okay, any other questions, anyone? Jordan, Gino, okay, Frank. I'm with Pepperstone and my chart isn't working. I would call Pepperstone. I would call Pepperstone, or come over to FXTG. We could probably do something for you, and if your chart's not working, you can abuse one of my account managers. And I mean, they work 24 hours a day, these guys. Jordan, you've been quite quiet. You've got anything to say? Or Gino? Doug, give me a few questions. Andre, is that how you say your name? I got Peter, and I got another Peter. I got Stinger, and I got TC as well, who came last week, I remember. TC and Stinger, the regulars. Anyone else I missed that came last? I think Frank, you came last week too. Yeah, you did. No, you didn't. Oh, Frank, last week was good. It was good. We talked about Europe, the crisis of Europe, what's going to happen. Our first time. I apologize for the for making that error, actually, Frank, and I do also apologize for the technical difficulty that we experienced at the start of this online seminar. I don't usually have this issue. Unfortunately, it's a computer, and you do get issues. So I do apologize to everyone at the start, and I had to rush through a bit of the MACD, but I hope I made it up to you, showing you my my quick little trick there in regards to the moving average that you guys will take into account. You enjoyed it? Did you guys all enjoy it? Any other feedback you want to know? Anything? What I should improve to help you, or what do you guys want to know about? Is another thing. Obviously, you all want to know how to make money. That's why you trade Forex. But is there anything specifically you want to know about that that I can maybe put in the presentation? Pre-news trading? Yep, I'm going to discuss that next week. So if you're not on our list, jump on our list. Obviously you got contacted, so you're on the list. So yeah, I'll be discussing pre-news trading next week. You want me to probably get into a bit of pre-news trading now? I'll be here forever. With all what's going on overseas, what effect do you think it would have on the AUD? Yeah, that's a very good question. I'm very bearish on the AUD. I think the AUD should be valued around 94, 0.94, that is. Interest rates in Australia are starting to drop now. There's talks of the euro splitting up. I can't see why the AUD is still over parity. I mean, I know that Australia is a more better financial state than most of the countries around the world, and that's due to previous governments that have held up quite strong. So I do think a downtrend in the AUD. I did say that last time in my webinar, downtrend in euro, downtrend in AUD, and it's kind of come up. Look, I'm a fundamentalist. As I do use technicals, but I'm a fundamentalist, and looking at fundamentals, I strongly believe that the AUD is in a short position at the moment. I'm not telling you guys to do a short. It's up to you if you want to do it or not. So I'm always giving general advice here. However, I do think it's in short territory. Did you thought otherwise, Peter? Did you thought it was going to go up? Yep, you thought down? Or yep, you thought up? Yeah, on the way down. Okay, well, I'm going to change that now. I'm going to say it's a long position. I'm changing it. I'm going against you, Pete. I'm going to bet against you. No, I'm just joking, mate. Just having a bit of a laugh with you. Isn't that the way this market works? You know, look, the best, guys, I'll tell you the best trick that I've learned, okay? Now, don't take this as advice. This is just something I've learned. I've had a few, going out, a few drinks in the night, I jump into a taxi and taxi driver starts asking me questions. What do you do for a living? Blah, blah, blah. And I say the story to him. I say, I'm a trader, blah, 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 get him involved, and they get all excited. And I say, anyone give you stock tips? And they go, yeah, buy stock XYZ. I said, okay, who told you that? Oh, this advisor, that advisor. Okay, no worries, I'm going to do that. You know what? I did this once, and I can actually vouch for it. I've got a friend that was there. I shorted it, and I made money on it. And the reason why I shorted it because their advice was completely bullshit, and they know nothing about it. So sorry about the using the bit of that word, the BS word there, but that's the reality of it, and that's why I did it. Any other questions besides how much my taxi meter was? I have a Euro trip next few weeks. Should I convert my money now or wait till I'm about to leave? Oh, okay, yeah, no, well, congratulations on your trip. Let me guess, you're leaving on the between the 20th, next week you said, okay? Next few weeks, I reckon you're leaving between the 24th and 26th. Hope you have a good trip, by the way. Now, good guess. Now, you should be changing your money over in Europe. You might get a bit more for it. Over there, I'll hold on, considering that Euro is bearish. And also, it's bearish against the AUD too, so I'll hold on and change it when I'm over there. Using cards, you try to get you kind of get debited using cards, but having cash is quite well. Yeah. Anything else you want to know about Europe, Stinger? Where the girls and boys are? I'm not sure if you're a girl or boy, but I think Italy is a place to go these days, considering that Berlusconi's gone. Just where the girls are. I can't give you details, mate. I've got a few numbers. I might have to email them to you. Any other questions, guys, in regards to where the girls are or about Forex? Okay, I'll be waiting for another couple of seconds, and if nothing comes up, I'll have to leave you guys and kiss you all good night. Did I watch the Rugby World Cup? not a big fan of rugby. I like rugby as a sport. I just don't. I'm not a rugby follower, but I saw a bit of it. Are you a New Zealander? Are you or a French person, or you just want to rub it that Australia lost to me? South African. Ah, okay. Well, no, I didn't watch the Rugby World Cup. I didn't follow it. I like following a bit of football, which is soccer, and AFL in Australia, which is it's like the American Go Cats, go the Blues. I'm a Blues supporter, but I'm glad that you guys beat Collingwood. For the people that understand what I'm talking about now. Sorry to hear that. To hear what? We're going to win the premiership this year coming. No chance. In the next few webinars when the season starts, we'll discuss it. I might meet you one of the games. How about that? We'll sit down together. We'll talk Forex and then we'll talk about Juddy. Game on. You bet. Sounds great. I'll meet you at gate 3. Any other questions? How's the weather here? Today was quite nice, about 23, 24. It was 28 the other day. It's starting to get warmer. About to kick into summer very shortly, so it's good. It's good. Where are you located, Frank?